back to another video. Today I have, again, doing something a little different today. I wanted to take the opportunity to talk about, there's an online comic convention that's happening this weekend, surrounded around comic art. Many of you know about it. It's Comic Art Live through Comic Art Fans, and they do it twice a year. They have a lot of panels. They interview artists. They have art for sale, but also a big part of it, big component of it, is there is a lot of collectors that post their collections and post pieces for sale, and they have galleries you can go through and buy art. It's happening on the Saturday, Sunday, the 11th and the 12th. It starts on Saturday at 1 p.m. for the general public. You can just go on the site, and there'll be a box in the top that you can go into the booths. And access starts at 11 a.m. for anyone who is a Comic Art Fans Premium member. So what I wanted to do is, since we talk a lot about like what I buy and what comes in, I wanted to take the opportunity to show what I'm going to be selling this weekend, or at least what I'm going to be offering for sale. I know not everything is going to sell, and some of it I maybe I don't want it to sell, but it's a good opportunity to kind of go through my collection as things come in. Look at what's the collection I'm trying to build, and what might be expendable. I mean, there's some nice pieces in here that I would be happy to keep, but realistically, you look at funds and like, what do I want to spend it on? Do I want to keep that? Would I rather have some of this stuff? And so anyway, just wanted to go through. I have about, I think, 20 some pieces that I'm gonna post up for sale, and again, not everything is gonna sell, and I'm okay with that, but I just thought I should offer up a good variety. So we'll go through, we'll talk about a little bit about them. I'll have some scans here for better viewing. So first, there's starting off with my boy Steel. Now obviously I love Return to Superman. I love these characters. But this is a piece that I bought from Chris Samney. He does his warm-up sketches. He calls them doodles that he posts. He doesn't post them online. Then every couple times a year he posts on his site. We posted a batch for sale. So this is one that I was happy to grab. I remember seeing it when it first got posted, and I was waiting for it to pop up and grabbed it. But since then, I picked up some other. I picked up that John Bogdanov page, the actual from Reign of Superman. So I actually published Steel page, and that one becomes expendable. So, but again, happy to keep it. Next one is another one of those doodles. It's a Chris Samney Nightcrawler. I love like the swashbuckling version of Nightcrawler. But just thought, if I get rid of Steel, I don't know that I'm going to put this anywhere in my house. So it's good to offer it up. Now, here's another piece. As far as pricing goes, I think I'll wait to show pricing on the weekend. But if there's anything here that interests you, feel free to reach out to me. I have an email address that's attached to the YouTube account. It's carlsartcollection@gmail.com. But also, many of you know how to get a hold of me other places. So feel free to reach out. So, yeah. Next piece is actually a piece from a person we just talked about previous episode, Tom Riley. This is a warm-up doodle sketch that he did based on Jor-El in the Fortress of Solitude, the Superman movie that has that Marlon Brando design. And again, just to show that Tom draws on anything, on the back of it is an unfinished Spider-Man that he was drawing and then abandoned. But again, it's pretty fun to see on there. But yeah, this is a fun one. I love it. But the more I get of his published work, some of the stuff, it just is going to be in a portfolio. I could keep it, enjoy it, but kind of keep funds recycling. So next piece is another a convention sketch that I had done from Rick Leonardi, the Black Suit Spider-Man. So given his association with the costume design and the stories at the time, I had picked this. I also have a Spider-Man 2099 convention sketch, and that's one that I will probably keep forever. But because I have those other Tom Riley Spider-Man pieces in that series, that's kind of my thought was, oh well, I have a bunch of different Spider characters in that format. So do I need this Rick Leonardi convention sketch? And I've also been able to pick up some other Rick Leonardi stuff since I picked this up. So we'll see. Another convention sketch that I thoroughly enjoy, but it's a convention sketch that I got from Ken Lashley when he was at a Philadelphia convention. Now, I love this piece. It's just that I got this earlier on in my art collecting journey, and I've acquired so many other things since then. Wall space being what it is, this probably won't be framed, unfortunately. But I really love it. So, in the spirit of there's somebody out there who might appreciate it more, I should offer it up. So, again, happy to keep it and look at it, but you can't have it all and you can't keep it all. So this is a kind of interesting one. It's an animation cell from Masters of the Universe. It's a Skeletor piece, and the actual the painted art is actually this cell. So you have Skeletor there, and then the background part. I think it's just a printed. I don't think this is an original background because they're incredibly tough to find when you match up to the actual animation cell. But it's a printed background that helps display this nicely. So, but there's that. So, fun one. But again, I have some other cells, and they just probably won't, unfortunately, find their way onto the wall. So, it is what it is. This is another one, a sketch by, this is a Glenn Whitmore. So, obviously I enjoy Glenn Whitmore's work as a colorist for all those Superman titles, but I also really like his own style that he has, this kind of golden age vibe. And when I had a chance to get a sketch from him, I chose these two characters because his style screams golden age to me, and I thought, who better than Flash and Green Lantern to showcase his skills. So yeah, super colorful. I love the piece, but I might find myself, you might find me repeating myself, but it's true. I like all these pieces, but offer them up and see if there's any other homes out there that might appreciate them even more. So next up is it's a convention piece from Larry Stroman. Now, I always loved the look of Strong Guy, and when I first was introduced to the character was through Larry's run on X Factor, and as I look at my collection, I don't. It's not going to fit ultimately. I don't have a lot of Marvel stuff. It's not that I don't like Marvel. But it just, having this piece of my collection, it makes me want other X Factor characters. I want some, like a Havoc piece or, so in some ways it's just get rid of this so I, stop having the urge to maybe get more. So it's a weird way of thinking, but I find that sometimes that helps me. And actually this is another great example of that. Another commission I had from Graham Nolan. I've tried to sell this one before, but it's just, I love this piece. I love Bane. I love Nightfall, that whole saga. But the more I collected art, and the more I got into the death and return of Superman, not into, but more I was able to acquire from that story. I had some other pieces that were Nightfall related, but I've kind of sold those off, and then this is kind of the last piece that I have that is associated with that story. Not that I don't love that story, it's just having this piece in my collection makes me want other things. It makes me want to try to, before it made me want to try to get, a piece from Nightfall, a piece from Knight's Quest, Knight's End. I had Knight's End and Knight's Quest, but I sold those off. So this is kind of the last one that looking for a home to kind of make that clean break from Nightfall. So now I'll move into some published stuff, and this is a piece that you've seen before. I've unboxed this on the show or on the channel, and it's a good example of what I was talking about, like some of those impulse purchases that don't always stay in the collection, And this is an example of not just it was an impulse purchase, but there's other reasons. It's one of the Jonah Hex pages that I picked up from Luke Ross from issue 7, page 11. Now, I love this page. It's just that when those pages popped up, I didn't anticipate getting as many as I did. I mean, I think I have 3 from this series. But like once I kind of reassessed everything, I would be willing to let this one go because I still have those other 2 that I like a little bit better. I love that he's on horse in this page, but in the interest of, do I need all those pages? Probably not. So here's another one from a 90s, and it's a kind of an outlier in my collection. It's a Wetworks page, penciled by Ken Lashley and inked by Richard Friend. It's issue 37, page 21. Now, I loved the Wildstorm stuff when I was a teenager. Backlash, Grifter, Wetworks. I really enjoyed those stories. But this one, it's the only Wildstorm related piece in my collection, so it kind of doesn't fit. I love it. I love the characters of Pilgrim and Dane, and they look really cool. But again, what you'll hear me say is an outlier, and it just feels like there's got to be someone out there who specifically collects Wetworks or collects Wildstorm stuff that might fit their collection a little bit better than mine. So here's one that I'm letting go because of things that you've seen me unbox already. This is a page from Adventures of Superman 556. It's a Ron Frenz and Joe Rubenstein page. It's got Electric Superman on there, and a really cool kind of Kirby-esque monster. It's got Jimmy Olsen on an adventure. It's just, I bought this page because I wanted something with Electric Superman, but I got some other things that I've just seen that splash page that I bought that I like better, and I don't know that I need another example as this. So we'll see. Let that one go. Here's another one that you won't hear me say I don't love this artist, but it's Dan Jurgens and Brett Breeding from Superman issue 0. That was during the 0 hour tie-in issues where they kind of did a like a soft relaunch of the titles to kind of entice some new readers. But this is a page that it's Clark telling Lois about his history with Kenny Braverman, who is the villain Conduit, who was introduced in this at this time in these stories. Again, I love it. I love that era. I love the story, but it. I picked up that Jurgens and Breeding commission from OAX, and then I also at OAX picked up a Doomsday Wars page that you've seen here, and it kind of makes this one a little expendable because I have the other stuff. So now here's some stuff, some art from. I was on a phase for a while. Which I still really enjoy this duo, but I have some pieces that I would still have in my collection that I think represent this duo nicely. So it's Eddie Barrows and Eber Ferreira. I think it's Ferreira. I think, but it's a page from Task Force Z. It was a fun, kind of zombie-esque story where Amanda Waller has basically a Suicide Squad, but it's they use this what's it called, the like Lazarus to reanimate dead DC characters and have them fight as like a Suicide Squad, and they were pretty expendable. But it was fun, but it doesn't quite fit. I love the look of that's Mr. Bloom in the rookie mech suit that was introduced in Endgame, which is where Mr. Bloom was introduced, the Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo Batman run. I just thought this was a really cool image of that really strong full page image of Bloom in that rookie bat suit. But I mean, I kind of thought like, I just like maybe hang it around like Halloween, have it in the house, and but yeah, I figured I'd offer it up and see if anybody else would rather have it. Now here are two pieces from the same team, from the same. Now this is from a different series, but both of these are from the same series. So this is Freedom Fighters number 4. It's the cover where Uncle Sam returns from the dead, essentially. I love this cover. Yeah, it's so powerful with Uncle Sam, and I think on the cover, I'll switch it over to that, but it's like not dead yet. It just looks really cool. With this one, I'm also offering the. It'll come together with the cover, but the full size prelim that Eddie did for the cover. So that's a cool pairing. Again, it just comes down to, I think that's a powerful cover that should be on a wall, but it won't probably make it to my wall, and I'm happy to appreciate it in my portfolio, but maybe somebody wants to have it on their wall. So this is a double page splash from the same series, Freedom Fighters, which was a really good series. I always thought it would be a really good kind of like HBO Max show, but it kind of, at the same time, there was The Man in the High Castle, which is a similar kind of, what if the Nazis won, and living under that oppression. But anyway, this is it's actually the first piece that I bought that from Eddie and Eber, but let me get that on there. It's double page splash from issue 12. It's Uncle Sam, and he's finally taking it to Cyborg Overman, who is that Earth's version of Cyborg Superman. So it's kind of like an evil Nazi version of Cyborg Superman. But in the series, Uncle Sam, he gets his strength from the fighting American spirit, and the freedom fighters have amassed that they've shown that they can take it to the Nazis, and Uncle Sam's powers really kind of were amplified. So he took it to Cyborg Overman, and this is kind of the beginning of the end for Cyborg Overman. So it was their fight in issue 12, which was the last issue of the series, of the miniseries. Yeah, that's really cool. I still have, I still have all of these because I haven't sold them, but I have there's another Uncle Sam splash that I have it's just Uncle Sam, and I identified that one as the one that I would, out of all the pieces that I have, that's like the one that I would keep, and I'm okay having one example. I don't want to get rid of all of the stuff from that team because I love Eddie and Eber's work, but those are the pieces that I'd be willing to let go, even though I do really love them. So, okay, so next up are a couple of pieces related to the same property, but it's Planet of the Apes. So this is Planet of the Apes number 1, Cataclysm variant cover from by Joe Quinones. This was a series that in the original movie they talk about how there's no moon, and because if there was a moon, that'd be a dead giveaway, and the movie would be very short. It's like, oh, we're on Earth. The end. So there's no moon, and then they came out with a miniseries back when Boom was doing the Planet of the Apes comics that explained what happened to the moon. And see in the cover here, the moon is exploding. So then you have Nova and some other humans. It looks like a very, it looks like a Taylor-esque human, but it's just another human. This one there's some printed, I don't know if you can tell, there's blue. Some of the night sky was done digitally, but Joe does his layouts digitally and then inks over that. But he left some of the sky blank to give details and layering to the exploding moon and the smoke and whatnot there. So there is some blue on this piece. There's like this whole area is blue, but this is all original. So all original like inks. That's just what his process is. So yeah, that one again. I love Planet of the Apes, but I have some other Planet of the Apes stuff in the works. So kind of identify pieces that maybe I could let go. There's another one from the recent Marvel relaunch of Planet of the Apes. Now this is set in the Caesar timeline for the newer 3 movies, which is also have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which comes out this weekend. There were only a few pieces done of this whole. This is a 5-issue miniseries. There were only I think a total of 4 pieces, 2 double page spreads and 2 panel pages that were done traditionally. Everything else was inked, was done digitally. Is Dave Wachter? I think it's Wachter. Yeah, so on there you have Pug the gorilla, who in the story, Pug. So everything that you see from the movie timeline is set in the U.S., like San Francisco, and then you have Caesar and whatnot. But this is a group of gorillas that were in Europe. So you had Caesar in America, and then in Europe you had Pug. So this is Pug with his group of apes. I just thought this was a cool shot of that group of apes. Now I still have one other. I have a double page splash from this series that was a recap of the Caesar events from was it Rise of the Planet of the Apes. But anyway, yeah. So kind of thought this one might be. If there's any other apes fans out there, there aren't a lot of us. I know of a couple, but we'll see. There's another one. Actually, there's 2 more pieces from Tom Riley, and one you've seen me unbox here. Now, again, it's just it's like a constant state of curating. And now I love both of these pieces, but as you saw in the last video that I posted, I just picked up some more Tom Riley art, and I have some more in the works. So gotta kind of pick and choose. And when I committed to buy this one, it's a Star Wars Dark Droids D Squad #2 variant cover, which is Chopper. When I committed to buy this one, it was right around the same time where I identified that I was going to kind of cut off, similar to what I did with Nightfall, kind of let go of some Star Wars art. But I still like this cover, but it again, now, even though it's Tom Riley, it's kind of an outlier in the sense that it's Star Wars. So to have Chopper be the only representation in my collection, while I love Chopper, I don't know if that's strong enough of a Star Wars piece to keep it as my only Star Wars piece, if that makes any sense. So yeah, so that one I'm willing to let go. Now there's another one from Tom Riley, and I love this one, but like I said, some stuff in the works, so we'll see. This is actually Tom's first cover for Marvel Comics, and it was the Marvel's. I always think it was like the tie-in to Marvel's that Mark Waid spearheaded a couple years ago. But I think it's Marvel's Snapshots X-Men #1. It's a story about a young Cyclops who witnesses the events from Marvel's and kind of helps set him down his path on finding his identity and so I think the theme of the issue is like, is he a monster? Like, is he a hero? Like, what? Like, he has these powers, but everyone calls him a freak. Like, what? It was a really great single issue. I still have a really awesome double page spread from that, where it's the Namor and the Fantastic Four fighting. It's from the encounter from the original Fantastic Four, I think issue 4. But yeah, that one's beautiful. I love this. I love that it has all of the characters again in kind of silhouettes. But it has all the heroes. It has the Avengers, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four. They're all there. And I also love how down in the corner you have Iron Man's helmet reflecting off of Ant-Man's helmet. That's kind of cool. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Again, I'm saying that multiple times too, just because. I don't know. I'd be happy to keep just about everything here, but we'll see what's if there's any interest out there for any of this stuff. So now here's another one that I yeah, tough to let go, but grand scheme of things, looking at what I have, willing to entertain, see what's possible. It's another issue or another page from Spawn issue 17, which is from the early days of Greg Capullo's run on Spawn. He started on issue 16. This is issue 17. And now, up until then, Todd McFarlane had been writing or had been drawing the art for Spawn. So there's really not a whole lot of, and I think he has most or all of that. So there's not a lot of early Spawn art out there. So this is kind of among some of the earliest stuff that's out there. I started out with 3 pages from this issue. I sold off one of them. And then it was kind of like ripping a Band-Aid off. And I thought, okay, sold the one. I'd be willing to let this one go because I still have one other page. And I like the idea of when I have multiple pages from an issue, like it's such a weird, I don't know if this makes sense, but if I sell this one, it'll make the one page I still have from that issue feel even more special, if that makes any sense. So I don't know. So I thought I'd see if there's any interest in this one. That's a great page that, you have Spawn up there in the corner, but it shows it's Spawn still learning what is possible, what he's capable of. And it's this issue is anti-Spawn, who was actually Redeemer, comes on the scene. It's their first encounter, and Redeemer's just like kicking his butt. And instinctively, he's about to die, and he instantly teleports away. And that's how he learns that he's actually capable of teleportation. So it's the first time he uses that power, which I thought was kind of a cool thing for this page. So you got Spawn up at the top there. You got him in pain while he's teleporting. You got a good Star Trek reference, and you have Redeemer still on the bottom there. So it's a fun page from anyone looking for like an early Spawn page. Now, last 2 pieces, and both of these are kind of what I would call heavy hitters in my collection. I really love both of these pages, and would be fine if they stay. But at the same time, I think I have them because I love the artists. But I would be okay if I necessarily didn't have. They fit more because subject matter is cool, but also I bought them because I wanted an example from those artists, and now I've decided that I don't need necessarily examples from these artists, but I still love them. So anyway, the first page is Sean Gordon Murphy. It's from The Curse of the White Knight. It's issue 7, page 2. And again, I've talked about this before. I don't know. I think on Ruben's channel. But I talked about this page. I love it. I love the young Bruce Wayne. I love the vulnerable. His parents were just killed, and he's trying to cope with that. And you have Alfred, who is saying like, "Look, I will teach you how to fight, but like right now, I need you to be strong. We need to go to their funeral. But if you go and you're brave and you go to the funeral with me, and I'll show you and teach you how to fight." And it's just such a tender moment with Alfred and Bruce at the bottom there, and Bruce as losing his parents, and when I became a parent, as you get older, you look at the relationship between Bruce and Alfred, and it just takes on a whole new meaning. And the idea that Alfred is his father, it just changes the whole the way you look at Batman. You have Alfred's like, oh, the butler in the cave who takes care of him, but it's like, yeah, but he raised him, and so he sends his son out there every night, and he's there to patch him up, and it just has to be so heartbreaking for him. But anyway, so I love that dynamic of Bruce and Alfred, and I think this page really showcases that, especially since you have you see the fighting spirit of Bruce Wayne, but then you also see the tender side of Alfred. So love this page, but like I said before, it's there's some things and some pages and some art that I was able to add to my collection that represents me a little more. So I'm willing to kind of see if anybody is interested in that page. So, and this last one, this is a tough call to make. And again, I don't know that it's going to sell. I don't know that I think the interest might be there, but I don't know. We'll see. But it's Jim Lee Scott Williams page from the metal, the Road to Metal, like the lead up to that, the metal event was the Road to Metal Dark Nights, Dark Days, the Forge, which is what this issue is. It's a setup to the metal event, and it's Bruce. Or it's not. It's Hal Jordan investigating some strange energy signals emanating from the Batcave, and so he heads there to investigate. And Bruce is not there, Batman's not there, but you have Duke Thomas, who's the signal. He is there, and it's Hal and Duke kind of encountering each other. But you get the Batcave without having Batman on it. So if it had Batman on it, this page was probably never have been in my collection. But I bought this because looking at what people are paying for, like profile headshots from Jim Lee, it makes kind of no sense to me. So I bought this at a time where it was like it just made more sense to go after a published example rather than one of those kind of convention sketch pieces that he does. But am I happy to have a Jim Lee piece in my collection? Absolutely. Do I really want to sell this one and let it go? Because knowing that I probably will never have another Jim Lee page if I sell this one. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, I feel like I've been able to curate a collection that represents me better. And I know I have said that a couple times, and it's somewhat vague. But like the Death and Return of Superman, just in the commissions and the published pages that I've been able to pick up, that stuff really is me. That's like my identity in comics. And recently some stuff I picked up with Transformers, G.I. Joe. Those are other properties that really have been with me since I was a kid. So they represent me. So I've kind of created this collection, and I'm comfortable with it. So I'd be willing, or I'd be open to seeing if there's any interest for this one out there. So all right, so that's the last one that I have this weekend. Comic Art Live will be able to access from, if you go to the website comicartfans.com. Many of you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so the Saturday at 1 p.m. it'll be all the listings will go live unless you're a Comic Art Fans Premium member, and access on those starts at 11 a.m. So all of this stuff that I showed here we'll post on Saturday, because some people post things on Saturday and Sunday. I'm just posting things on Saturday. So if there's anything you see, go ahead and reach out to me now. I'm happy to talk about pricing, and I'm flexible. So especially if I know you, I'm certainly more apt to strike a deal to get into a home that I'm familiar with. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this one, and I'll see you soon.